Hello and welcome to Keystone Copycats with Chris and Zach. I, of course, am your host, Zach, and he, of course, is your other host,
Ralph the dog.
Ralph the dog.
Yeah, I'm the piano player one. You know, the mutt.
I think his name is Rolf.
Oh, have I been saying it wrong my whole life?
I hope so.
Oh,
You've been calling him Ralph.
well, I never said it to his face. I said it to the hand that operates him in his face.
That's worse, somehow.
I mean, yeah. This wasn't meant to be perfect.
Which
the world was never meant to be perfect, Zach. Don't ever forget that.
Which would be a sadder Muppet show to witness? The Muppet show where the Muppets are there, but they don't have the right voices, or the Muppet show where the Muppets got lost in transit and they're just hands, but they have the right voices? Which is sadder?
Yeah, like the hand one. For sure, I knew that's what you were leading to.
I like the hand one. I'd take the hand one.
I did not approve. I didn't agree to it at all.
I don't know.
For our listeners out there that wonder why I sound silly, it's because I'm off campus today. I'm studying abroad in the realm that I call my home, because we got ourselves a blizzard here.
Another one. That's what happened last time we had to do a remote show. And for anyone who's wondering why I sound silly, it's because I have COVID. And yeah,
it was a blizzard of COVID.
It's a blizzard of COVID brought in by my daughter.
Well,
she was supposed to get tubes in her ears today, and she had to have a COVID test 24 hours beforehand. And we took her, and she tested positive. And then the day we got results, I was feeling sick. And I took an at-home test, and it came up negative. And so me and my wife each went to get like PCR tests just to be sure. I went before her, but mine took way longer to get my results back. So she got hers back, and it said positive. And she just kept saying, well, you're positive too. I know, because you're sick. And I was like, I've got a negative test right now, so I'm doing just fine.
Interesting enough, staying on the COVID topic, I found COVID the other day. I found patient 0.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's exactly what you thought. Chickens, poultry related, not mine, by the way. Was at a customer's home, and he said, "Hey, just before you come in, just heads up about the smell." And I'm a plumber; it really doesn't affect me much. So when I walked in the door, it floored me because he had all these chickens in his house in dog cages.
Oh,
and when I say he had 50 chickens in his house in dog cages, I'm not exaggerating. I got witnesses, and it was such a putrid, sweet smell. I didn't know what to do. But as I talked to this guy, and I was like about to get sick, I looked at his face, and I thought maybe he was just eating a gross sandwich because it was kind of green on the corner of his mouth.
He was eating
and then I realized under his glasses there were green smudges coming out of his eye. And I was like, what? I was like, you can't keep these chickens inside just because it's cold out, man. You really need to not do this anymore. So anyway, I obviously didn't say any of that. I just left post haste and called the CDC and said I found your patient that's been causing all this massacre globally.
Was he? Well, that's a hoax. Was he? Was he Stephen King from that Creep Show, the thing in Creep Show where he has the moss all over him?
Yeah, it was. I don't want to think about him. I know that his pants were falling off constantly because why bother just giving any kind of sex appeal when you're just walking dead,
when you're just trying to fuck the plumber. Like,
he kept talking about how horny this chicken was, or this rooster was, and I'm like,
well, yeah, in those cloacas.
Like, it was. He was just walled in with all these hens. Of course he's horny. He's like, wow, like, you really just, there's nowhere to turn where he's not banging a chicken.
Yeah.
Like, that's his job. That's what he does.
It is literally the job of the rooster to bang the chickens. That's what I learned from Frank Costanza.
I thought you were going to say it the hard way. That's what I learned.
I did learn it the hard way. It's true. It's a fact of life.
Well, good.
Oh,
do you want to?
Oh goodness!
Speaking of just terribly gross stuff,
yeah.
Well, I guess we'll stay on the topic of toilets. Mm-hmm. I got 2. Mm-hmm. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah, I'd love to hear about it.
My son scared the shit out of me.
Literally?
Like, not literally, but kind of. he's been running around with all these balloons.
Yeah.
So when he was gone, I went into the bathroom, and I guess he brought a balloon in there for whatever reason, and it was floating. It was floating just above the toilet bowl, but it was dark, and I was by myself. So immediately I thought of Pennywise the Dancing Clown, like they all float, and it was just hovering inside the toilet. I don't know how it happened, but I definitely slept with the lights on because I'm a child.
Well, you should.
For the rest of the evening.
You should.
And the worst part was that it kept floating behind me when I batted it away, and it was just bouncing against the back of my head. I'm like, no, like I just won't acknowledge.
I think it's fine.
That's how I live my life.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
No worries. Nothing to be afraid of. Just a
evil
balloon taking a shit. Do you think it was taking a shit? And you caught it and it was just as embarrassed as you were?
Oh, that's why it was like rubbing on me. It was like, don't tell anybody.
Like,
don't tell your listeners about what happened.
Andy about it. Anywho,
but yeah, we it's keeping with the theme. We were talking about like how to deal with situations at work, like if you don't have a shop vac and something's backed up.
Yeah,
and I came up with the idea of the poop ladle. And that's where
if you don't came up with it.
If you don't have any power, we're gonna anyone who wants to be partner with me, we're gonna make a ladle that we're gonna sell on TV, and it's for scooping out the innards of a backed up toilet.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of ladle. I mean, it's self-explanatory, but this one will be $12.99, and we can put your name on it or an enemy's name, just whoever's name.
So what if
stamped of approval?
Instead, we didn't do that.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to make the $12.99 if I don't.
Yeah, you're probably not. I'm not paying you. I know that much.
Oh, so these are like charity. Oh, these are like swag bag gifts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could use any label and then just write your buddy's name on it and $12.99 to me later.
Yeah, you label the ladle. That's right.
Okay. The double L. How daring of you.
So many L's. Taking all the L's.
Oh, you greedy fuck. So, I got bad news.
Yeah?
My dog ate my homework again. This is now like the third week in a row where the dog has attacked my notes.
So I want to say, like, you have to take a picture of this and send it to me so I can post it. And to our listeners who wanted to see the video of your reaction to opening the Garfield Buddha,
yeah,
my phone broke and it's just gone.
Oh, that's cool.
I lost it. I'm like, well, okay. Yep.
Do you ever think about buying a second phone as a backup?
No, my wife would think I was a drug dealer.
And you wouldn't be selling drugs with the second phone?
Well, no, that's the point, is if I get a second phone, I legally am required to sell drugs. And I don't want to do that.
So we're on the same page.
Yeah. The one that your dog ate.
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
Yeah, so you got to take a picture of that. Before we get into this movie, which I'm excited about, I got some good questions for you. But before we get into this movie, I want to talk a little bit about the Cincinnati Bengals and your first, the first time you and I have ever watched a football game together. The Cincinnati Bengals won the AFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl. So how did you feel about that as someone who is not a football fan?
Well, Zach, let me start from the beginning. I'm a man who doesn't watch football.
Correct.
Coincidentally, that is the end. What kind of emotion did you want from me?
So,
did you want me to go big as far as your team? And do you want me to start doing that thing that like fat guys do when they're like, we won, and I'm like, you didn't do shit.
It's not all fat guys. I mean, we fat guys, we say it a lot, but also it's other guys, like skinny guys.
I shouldn't have said fat guys. I should have said people who are clearly not on that fucking team.
Yeah, no, I'm on the team.
No, you're fucking not. You are not part of the Bengals.
Look, man, I've been supporting that team longer than any of those players, except Kevin Huber.
Before the game, I think I did tell you, you said, like, are you excited about the game or whatever the fuck you said? And I was like, I don't get to. I can't just jump in and be one of those guys at the end just because it's doing, they're doing well,
Yeah.
that I'm now like a fan. Like obviously, like
we welcome
obviously
you aboard.
watching any game, you're like excited, like you want the team that everyone wants to win. But ultimately, no.
Oh, you froze. I lost you. At the very end of that sentence.
I said I didn't do shit.
So my wife said that you started off the game with that attitude of like, whatever. And you did, like you said, you did mention that you can't jump on the bandwagon now as someone who never supported them when they were bad, which you had a lot of time of them being bad to jump on. But she mentioned that, like, as the game got going, you got way more into it and got way more hyped throughout the game. And it's like you're saying, like, any game like that is just, it's exciting to watch.
Zach, I'm an excitable man.
Yeah.
I always have been. I plan on going out that way. Like on the town.
On the town. Yeah.
So I don't know what you want from this conversation, but did I have a good time? Is that what you're trying to ask me?
Yeah, did you have a good time, and do you want to go on another date?
I'll think about it.
All right.
You had me at maybe.
I'll say this, and I think this episode will be coming out the week of the Super Bowl, so I don't know. Or no, it might be coming out after the Super Bowl. I don't know. Either way, like, I'm going to either be, like, heartbroken or, like, the most elated I've ever been in my entire life. I don't understand why losing the Super Bowl is a bad thing. You're in the fucking Super Bowl. Good no,
for
it's
you.
Great, but it's a heartbreak because you come so close to winning it all, and to lose at the end it's a crushing defeat. Even though, like, it is amazing to be there, and we're like a year earlier than we really should be. But, like, here I am saying we again.
I was gonna say, you said you as in me, and I'm not going. I'm not gonna lose. Like your team.
I saw the they're your team now too. So I did see, like, some Super Bowl ticket prices. Just like a friend had shared, like, a seating diagram. The cheapest ones were $4,900.
Yeah, man.
Would you ever pay $5,000 to go to a football game? Would you ever pay $5,000 for an event?
Why would the fuck would I pay when I'm on the team? That's us.
Oh, we. Yeah. That's right.
I don't understand. What are you trying to ask me?
I gotta say, the
wait, are we not going?
as far as the Bengals go for, like, modern football teams, I think they're doing everything right. They've got a lot of great memes. One of their players was in the news today because he said they're going to go win the Super Bowl for Harambe. They've had a meme all season long of this.
Is Harambe that type of sausage?
No.
What's Harambe?
He's the gorilla that was shot at the Cincinnati Zoo.
Yeah. That's not funny.
I mean, it's pretty funny. But, yeah, they have a...
The gorilla's dead?
Yeah.
What are you, a monster?
I am.
Oh.
And you knew that the whole time.
I didn't know that the gorilla had a name.
You didn't know Harambe? I mean,
Did he pick it?
No, it was that was 2016. That was 6 years ago that happened.
No,
and you don't remember.
Like, how do you, like, name a gorilla? Do you write all the names on, like, each banana, whatever banana he grabs? That's his name.
No, they just name him.
Oh, that's mean.
No, okay, okay. How did you name your dogs? Did you write names on different pieces of food and then name them the thing that they picked?
No, I wrote their names on a banana. You watched a movie
called Happy Death Day, and you decided that... What was that guy's name?
No.
Johnny Murder.
Not going to be... Toombs.
Toombs,
you
Johnny
fuck.
Toombs, and that's what you named him.
No, I told you.
This is COVID happening to me right now. I can't even think of this dumb joke that I've been making for a year.
No, I wrote names down on a banana, and a gorilla picked it up for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I name my dogs.
Johnny
Toombs.
I do it
every time.
And the one named after my daughter.
Yeah, so what about it?
Right.
What about my dog named after your daughter, and also my son has another dog by that name? What about it?
Do you think he's gonna go through life naming every dog he has that? Do you think that's what he's gonna do?
Man, I don't know about that kid.
He should.
It's a weird dude.
I like him.
But anyway.
Takes balloons to the toilet like he should.
Yeah, and freaks out his old man.
Yeah, that's you. So what are we doing here today?
Just trying to test out the newest ladle.
The balloon ladle?
Well, sports fans, since that's what we're doing now. I was going to do a synopsis for this sweet movie, but it's cut in half, so you have to forgive me. We did, what is this, 2001?
2001, directed by Dominic Sena.
Swordfish, starring Kevin Elam and Tracy Morgan.
Kevin Elam? The guy we went to high school with?
Oh, Neelam. Nielsen?
Neeland.
Oh. Hey, I almost got it.
Hugh Jackman, John Travolta, Halle Berry, and Don Cheadle. I forgot Don Cheadle was in this, and he is great.
His hair's a little
it's weird.
Big.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it. Normally he's clean shaven.
Yeah,
on his head.
Yeah.
On his head.
On his head.
Y'all ready?
Yeah. Give me. All right. Lay it on me.
All right, I got to push the notes together to try to read it. Gabriel Shear is a man desperately trying to access information that is locked inside a complicated computer system that only Stan can crack.
Is that really the synopsis of this movie? Because that sucks.
Well, what happened is I started writing it, and then I didn't finish it, and then a dog ate it. And then, all of that was a long attempt.
That sucked. You did bad.
It was definitely levels of failure. It wasn't just one go.
No, it was a couple.
It was falling down steps, like a spiral staircase.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in the end, do I feel good about it? No.
About the synopsis or the movie?
No.
I feel good about the movie. I love the movie.
Listen, this is a fucking quality item here.
I'm a fan.
I don't know if you're going to hate on it. I like that opening with the rack focus.
I like the opening too. And it's so hyper stylized. The color is oversaturated and it's really high contrast. They go for it and I think it works. I'm a big fan of it.
The only problem is why? Why did they do that? As far as the plot,
I don't know.
There was no reason that the terrorists had to leave the bank and go to that coffee shop, right? Am I missing something that happened?
I think that they wanted to negotiate, and he said, "Yeah, I'll come and negotiate with you." I don't know.
Yeah, I think that he just really liked the call. You know when he orders when Wolverine. Jack Human. I love that name. When he orders the triple espresso and Travolta kind of turns around ooh, that's a pretty good order. I'll get that too.
Me too.
I think he really liked it that much. So he's like, hey, before I leave the country forever, because I have to hide my identity, I'm going to go get that coffee.
Why didn't he just take his face off?
He does. We'll get into it. Oh. I got a whole thing. In fact, because the reason we're doing this movie is because we want to see if I could take his face off. I don't know why I let it up like that. We want to see if this is Face Off 2.
Yeah.
I didn't know how you were going to deliver the information, but I got a nice little series of questions, and they go who, what, when, where, how, and why. And we will answer all of them to how is this Face Off 2.
Okay.
So, that being said, we'll work into that later on if you would like to.
I think that, I would like to work into that later, for sure.
Okay.
I want to know, have you seen Dog Day Afternoon?
I don't think so. It's not ringing a bell.
So, Travolta talks a lot about Dog Day Afternoon in that opening monologue, which I liked, and that was my second note on here, was that I always liked Travolta's opening monologue. I thought it was really neat. But in the opening monologue and the hostage scene, when they're on the bus and stuff, he talks about movies a lot there. But through the rest of the movie, he doesn't really talk about movies. He doesn't really reference movies, you know? It's all in that, bookends, you know? So it feels like it was an afterthought of oh, he's into movies, he likes this, we kind of become self-referential talking about movies, but it doesn't bear out through the rest of the movie.
I have got an answer for you later.
I don't believe you.
Do you want me to get into it now? Here's the issue.
All right.
This Travolta, Do we call him Gabriel? What do we call him? Like, he doesn't really go by that name much.
I mean, Halle Berry calls him that, but
do we just say Travolta?
I would just say Travolta.
Yeah, Travolta kind of has two different personas in this movie.
Yeah,
and old Ralph has got a theory about that. But before we
now
go
we do
into
a segment called Rolf's Theory.
Well, no, it's just a picture. No, well, Rolf's theory would just be a pause where I talk over a picture of Hugh Jackman's earring, that single earring. That's a choice.
Yeah,
that was a choice. Whose choice is my question?
Jack Human.
Do you think he was?
He shows up on set. He has his one earring, and he's like, "Hey, do you think I could just keep this in?" And they were like, "Yeah." They were like, "Hell yeah."
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think there was any like, okay. I think there was, all right.
Hell yeah. This guy came to play.
And also, make sure you're wearing a towel that would 100% fall off if you were swinging,
a golf club. Oh, wild.
What? Yeah, like, I mean, was there a safety pin?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have a safety pin on it?
Yeah, like a baby.
Oh, jeez.
He had that baby towel on.
Also, it was yellow.
I'm just gonna jump into the other hacker because I have a couple things to say. Number one, he didn't even try to fucking hide that other passport. It was really out in the open of his briefcase.
Right.
Like, very confidently watching her look at it, and he's smirking. Like, for being such an action-packed movie, his getaway, like his sad elevate, like he walks away, goes up the elevator, and then he kind of shuffles and falls to the ground as soon as they touch him. And my theory is that they had a whole scene planned out, and then the stuntman called in sick, and they were just filming, and they're like, "Oh, he's sick today. What would you do?"
This costs a lot of money. We can't.
Yeah, that was the decision. Was that shuffle? And they're like, "Okay, that'll work. That'll work." He's not even that important.
Yeah, there you go.
I think they had a bigger scene planned, and it just crapped the bed.
I hope so. I hope you're right. Is that Rolf's theory?
And that's Rolf's theory. Did you cut out the Hugh Jackman earring picture?
Jack Human,
still there. Jack Human.
Look, we're an audio podcast.
Why?
Yes.
Why does he live on an oil field?
Because he works there. He works there.
What's he do?
I don't know. He said something about pump jacks.
Yeah, so he's like the valve guy.
I think he goes around and he like futzes with stuff. I don't know.
Wait, is that how much do you think he makes just doing that?
30.
30.
Yeah.
Just 30. He's got 30 money.
I don't know if it's 30K. I don't know if it's $30 a day.
30,
I mean, I don't know. 30.
That trailer was pretty nice.
That's right.
I'm thinking he's getting 30 a day.
God willing.
But yeah, is it bad that I don't think his life was that shitty?
I think it's just shitty that he can't like be with his daughter. Like,
well, she dresses like a upscale hippie. What was that?
Do you not remember the 90s, my friend?
Well, this was not the 90s.
2001 is the 90s.
2001 was a different time, Zach.
The 90s go up.
It was more progressive.
The 90s go up until 2003. It's still the 90s.
The 90s go up until whatever the fuck I need them to. Okay, I'm getting old.
I've seen you. I know.
I don't have a good memory. Getting some gray in my beard. That means I'm wise. Apparently, I hope.
Yeah.
Hope to God it means I'm wise. That's Ralph's wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I do love like the 90s vibe of this movie. From like the electronic music and like the color and just everything about it.
And how they tell people to eat a dick. Yeah, and you eat a dick. That's so good.
I think that was the first time I heard that expression.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 2001. What do you think?
I think it was the 90s.
Yeah, 1990, 2001.
There you go.
Did you notice that Bizarro Jerry was one of the cops interrogating the other hacker?
Yo, yeah, okay.
I was like, I don't like this. I don't like seeing him as anybody other than Bizarro Jerry from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Now
I don't.
Also,
like
Banya from Seinfeld was in Face Off.
Nice. I don't like exploitation of the police system, but I do like Don Cheadle just doing whatever he wants. I loved when he just slammed into the attorney. I was like, all right, I'd allow it.
Yeah, I like Don Cheadle.
So, the first time, no, I'm sorry, not the first time. After the intro, the first time we see Travolta again, he does a quite unnecessary 360 spin to get out of a car. I don't know if you caught that.
It's called style, my friend.
He wanted to throw his luscious locks.
What's unnecessary about it? It rules.
He gets out. He's facing the doorway. He whips around to do a 180, and then faces the door again.
Yeah,
walks off.
It's because he's awesome.
I guess I don't have a rebuttal.
That's right. Now, we recently had a long conversation about Bane's coat. What did you think about that hacker's coat?
Yeah, I don't know if I was paying attention to it.
I mean, it's long. It's like it's like mid-thigh leather with like the fur collar. It's badass.
Wait, whose coat? You said a hacker's coat.
The one at the airport.
Oh, just
got a badass coat.
I thought you were just like, I thought that was the name of the style coat. I mean, yeah, but he was Eurotrash.
I know, man. That's the kind of coat they wear.
Give me that Bane one all day long. I don't want that Eurotrash one. It probably smells like, I don't know, Persia.
Persia? He's like Norwegian.
No, that's where the coat's from.
I don't think so.
Like.
It looked cozy. I'd wear it.
I don't know how to explain what I think it smells like, but Persia seemed right.
Okay. Maybe it smells like incense. It smells like Corey's car. What do you think about that?
Well, you can't. No one's going to know who that is.
That's fine. You know.
Yeah, fair enough. This
movie's very green. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. There's a green filter on everything except, did you see the hand-drawn porn wall? When Halle Berry is fucking undressing for the the wire scene, if you look behind her, I think it's supposed to be art. It's just hand drawn, many different like sheets of paper of hand drawn pornography. I have never noticed it until this time I watched it.
You were really desperate for something to crank off to.
I want you to know that's the thing is it was only facing her. That's why you don't notice it. So that's her crank off room where she drills the porn. So like she can look out and no one sees that she's a pervert. In her room.
It is her bedroom. So like crank off room. Yes, definitely.
The thing is they just got that lease. That's what they said. They leased it up 2 weeks ago. And she's already decked the walls.
She put her stuff up already. Nothing wrong with that. That's good for her.
Fucking hand drawn porn.
It took me forever to hang stuff up after we moved in. I don't even know where my hand-drawn porn is to put it up. Like, it's hard. It's hard. Good for her.
I want to go on about that subject, but a lot of that page is missing from my dog homework. I think I just drew an arrow that says scene, and I think that was because the scene right before is when they fall down the hill. Like that insane tumble when the cops are chasing.
And it's so long.
Jack Human.
So
he walks into the sunset.
Yeah.
And they do almost like a crossfade in Halle Berry's dressing. And I'm like, why didn't they do an establishing shot of the home so we know where we are? It's such a weird transition. And I thought you would notice it.
Have we already seen the house
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't know that they established. I don't know. It's weird, but it didn't bump me. I did really like the on that like tumble down the hill. I really liked that they transitioned from the electronic music into like traditional score. So it's this crazy like rave party like going through the start of that chase, and then as he like jumps on that hill and starts like rolling down, it transitions to orchestral score, which I thought was really fun.
Oh yeah, it's right when he hits the plastic too.
Yep. Interesting. I liked it.
Fancy.
Thought it was done well.
No, it wasn't done well.
Ooh.
Trying to make
Travolta's beard?
Trying to make hacking look cool.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Travolta's beard that is sometimes very off-center.
50 pumps. 50 pumps. 50 pumps of bass are funkin'.
Oh, that
old time when he's dancing with the wine.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's what they did. Like, so there's a couple movies like this that it's like hackers and the net, and like hacking was this thing where it was like, oh man, we have to take this computer code that is literally just like numbers and letters and like, you know, the least interesting looking thing you've ever seen, and we have to create some digital graphic for hacking so it looks cool while we're doing it, you know?
You talk about that Hydra?
Yeah, well, and I even remember like when I first saw it, thinking like, "Oh man, Hugh Jackman is so cool doing it." He's all right, yeah, and then he'll like spin around or like, you know, it's like
he does that
countdown.
Up. Does that countdown? 3, 2, 1. Spins around, hacks some more.
Yeah, and you're like, why'd he do that? What was the time for? What was he counting? What was he waiting? Was it just like a thing that he did? I don't know, but I thought it was cool.
Half of hacking is being passionate, Zach.
The other half is looking cool.
That's why we can't get in. Like, have you never, like, 3, 2, 1 and typed your password in your laptop?
My tongue sticking out.
Getting in
so
here.
Weird.
I better celebrate with a vintage bottle of wine.
Yeah. Where I then see John Travolta's corpse. Now, I really do want to talk about John Travolta's beard, because it really was like, I feel like they told him, like, hey, man, you don't have to have this weird little beard the whole time. We can just put it on in hair and makeup every day. And he was like, no, I'll grow it. And then I think one time he cut it himself wrong, and it was just like a little bit off to one side instead of dead center like it was supposed to be. And I just kept staring at it like, man. The one thing I would fix, if I got my hands on like the master of this movie and could fix one thing about it, it would be like I would digitally center his beard in all those scenes.
Well, I found out that they actually were over on their budget, and they had to find creative ways to work around it. So they fired the stuntman for the hacker scene. So he just fell over, and then also they didn't have any makeup artists. So
wow,
everyone had to do their own. So that's how.
Oh, then I think we're being too hard on this movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. So after the hacker fell over for his big scene, he was actually grooming Travolta for the rest of the day, and I just don't think he had the skill set.
Oh, I see.
But God willing, he'll be all right in his next profession.
Yeah. So one thing that I kind of thought as I was watching this movie is I would love to interview like a real hacker from this time period and just see like, what was it really like? Were you just like,
Yeah, like, do you really stand up and like get real excited when you're getting into that Hydra? It's the fact that he called it a Hydra. I kept standing out. I'm like, okay, I like that. I don't know what that means.
The thing for me is that like, I don't know if it's one of these things that like this movie is 21 years old. And so like looking at when they're talking about some of this stuff, I don't know if it's a factor of the time having passed or if it was just never right to begin with, where like Halle Berry's like, we have this DS7 line that lets you use 7 networks at once. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like you can connect to 7 different internet network. Like what?
Yeah.
It's all one network. It's all the internet. Like
no. Not when you're
understand.
planting a seed in a historical computer.
I guess, yeah.
Now, here's one thing that I genuinely don't know the answer. When he said he hid the code or whatever in that ancient computer that no one would ever check, it then follows the wires visually
through the ductwork.
To the ductwork into what looks like an old-looking recording system.
That is an old computer. Yeah.
Is that the one he's talking about?
Yeah, that is.
So, because they wanted that.
Yeah,
so they stole that.
They didn't steal it. That was following along those lines into that old computer was like showing them hacking into it. And then they accessed it and the wheels started turning, and that was them getting the thing out.
Oh, I thought that was in their secret lair basement with the Humvees.
No, they didn't steal that. That would have been a fun heist if they had to go steal it. That would have been cool, but no.
I thought, I was like, I'm like, that's cool because they already have it. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. How would they have it? Like, how would they know?
They don't need to have it, buddy.
No, but
I still think it.
I think at the end of the movie, someone
hacking.
You just
don't get hacking.
I mean,
I just think you're like a big square who doesn't understand hacking. That's all.
I don't. I get into my computer every time. I hack my password into it.
Ooh, I hacked in. I hacked in to do this recording.
I think we should just start. Anytime we put in a password, we just say we hacked the mainframe.
Every time I type in my computer or my password on my computer, I say, regardless of if there's anyone around me, I say, I'm in. Every time, no matter what.
So if your phone, well, you don't have one, but
no, I don't.
I'll explain what a phone's like. When you show your face and it's like, hey, I recognize you, I'm in. That's what you say.
You have officially hacked your phone.
But
when you
with
open
my
it
face.
up like that. Yeah, that's right.
And then if I don't have my face, it's face off. And I can't get in.
I want to take his face off.
So, should we go over my questions?
Yeah, let's get into your questions.
You did something and then kind of jumped away. Is you talked about how after that scene we find that there's a Travolta corpse.
Yeah. After that sweet hack job.
And you mentioned earlier about how he was acting a little suspicious, right? Almost like he had two personalities.
Yes, but no. I see where you're going with this, and I don't think it's right. But go ahead.
It's fucking Cage Travolta. So it's Travolta starting off because let's go over the what. So after Face Off, and we assume that Cage is dead because we assumed last time that Cage was dead. Well, the FBI is still out there fighting crime, but now Travolta is fighting the FBI because they couldn't keep his family safe the first time, and he had to go through all their shenanigans. So now he is in an even more secret FBI that attacks the FBI. So he's kind of on his own because if you notice, the first half of the movie, Gabriel doesn't kill anybody. And then the second half, he just starts slaughtering people.
But I think that's a function of, like, the plot. I think that...
No, it's the plot because right at the old switcheroo with that body, when the body's revealed, that's when they go on the car ride and he starts butchering everyone. So what happened was Travolta was FBI fighting FBI because he's angry with his company. And all of a sudden, boom, Cage wakes up. He takes Travolta's fake face this time because it's the future, and he kills original Travolta. Now we have Cage Travolta as FBI agent fighting the FBI. Go.
Okay. Mine starts a little earlier.
Okay.
Sean Archer is a bit of, as a youth, he's a bit of he gets into a little trouble, A
scoundrel.
He's a bit of a scoundrel. Yeah, he's some would call him a bit of a greaser. And he meets this girl over the summer and falls in love with her.
Tell me more.
I'm gonna. He does have a car. So he's a little bit of a no good Nick, you see. And so his troubles, he meets Joan Allen in high school. They sing, they do the hand jive. It looks like they're cranking off, whatever. So Grease is part of it. Grease is the first movie in the Face Off series. So that's young Sean Archer. So he gets into a little trouble when he's younger. But because of that, he gets mentored by this FBI guy and brings him in. And that's how he recognizes that he has some talent, But Sean Archer has gone so far the other way where he used to be this rebel, this rock and roll guy. And he's such this bland milquetoast, like only sad about his dead son kind of thing. Can't even recognize that his daughter is trying to be the Danny Zuko that he used to be. Now, Cage, on the other hand, Castor Troy, he starts out stealing cars. You see where I'm going with this?
I have no idea what's happening. You're doing Gone in 60 Seconds?
I'm doing Gone in 60 Seconds.
You're attaching too much.
No. This all leads into it.
No. Although I will say, I'm pretty sure this all takes place in Southern California, so I'll give you that.
That's what I'm saying.
Which takes care of my where this does all take place in LA.
But I do say that you're absolutely right that they thought that Castor Troy was dead last time, and he actually wasn't. And so this at the end of Face Off, I think he's not actually dead, and I think he manages to get them to turn him into the Sean Archer face, and he uses that to go do these covert ops.
Here's the thing. No matter when the transition was from Sean Archer to Castor Troy, we know that he was Castor Troy when he went and visited his senator fly fishing buddy, because he just loves, and I mean fucking loves, to kill Sean Archer's boss. Like he goes to get it.
And he does.
He loved it the first time so much he goes to kill him again while he's masturbating fly fishing.
So I think that Sean Archer and Castor Troy both work for that same senator. So like further up.
Hang on, but are they both Travolta?
Yes,
they're both Travolta.
They're both Travolta now,
but the Travolta face. But does the senator know that they're both Travolta face?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he does. It was his idea.
Oh, so when he has one killed, it's no offense to the other Travolta.
No, because he knows there's another one out there. And if we ever need a Battlefield Earth, we've got someone to go to. Now,
man.
I tried really hard to work Phenomenon or Michael into this, but it just didn't work because I don't think he's ever an angel.
Well, I think that at the end of the movie, when once again, we're not sure if Travolta face is dead for real or not, and we don't know if he survives at the end after the yacht explosion, I think that's because the issue is that once you do too many face swaps, and this is scientifically proven, you turn into them, and you start to have a bond and a blend.
Yeah.
So at the end, it doesn't really matter which Travolta face is alive because it's the same person.
Because they've become the same person. Yeah.
It's a clone. It becomes a clone. When you face off too many times, the face starts to absorb your mind and movements.
You know, they say the soul is in the face.
Soul face. Yeah.
That's what I
read. I read that somewhere.
Now, I thought about going all the way back to Raising Arizona for Cage, but it just didn't work. It just didn't work, you know. But Gone in 60 Seconds works. He starts out low level. He's stealing cars.
But then, kind of like Fast and Furious, the timeline's all fucked up. You don't know when he did that.
That's true, yeah.
But don't worry. He was in Japan, so it doesn't matter. They'll work it back into the It was one of his missions as a assassin for hire or whatever.
That's right.
What was he called? Was he the mercenary?
He was a terrorist for hire.
Terrorist for hire.
Hey. So I okay. So at the end of this movie, at the end of Swordfish, Travolta and Halle Berry get away. They use misdirection, you know,
there's two endings, but the real one.
Yeah, like he told Jack Human. They get away. So Halle Berry gets the money from the bank and then goes on this boat with Travolta, who has this like short blonde hair.
Travolta face.
Now, if you look up, John Travolta is in a movie called Primary Colors, which is he plays a Bill Clinton type.
Yeah.
It's not Bill Clinton, but it's Bill Clinton, and he looks like that in this. And that makes me think, is he gearing up to go become the governor of a southern state and run for president and be in Primary Colors?
You already know the answer.
Don't know.
He's got the funding money now.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
He should.
Next week, we'll do
Primary Colors. Primary Colors is so good.
I've not seen it. Very excited
good movie. We're not doing that next week.
I was almost excited to see that as I was the goddamn flying bus. Like,
I love the flying bus.
Like, I don't care how over the top it was. This was the first over the top heist vehicle movie where you're like, okay, strap in, because that bus is not.
Right, because like the Fast and the Furious would never parachute cars out of an airplane to drop them onto a road to do a heist if this hadn't happened, you know?
When the guy falls, when the bus falls and is, being held vertically, and the guy falls through it, and then it blows
up.
And it blows up in the window with the ball bearings. You're like, that's sick.
That's fucked.
Shit.
Oh man.
What a good scene.
Yeah, it really is.
But I also
think the scene of the first hostage that blows up is really great too, where she's fighting so hard to get back to the bank because she knows she's going to blow up.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awful.
something degrading about putting the dog collars on too. Like,
Yeah.
did you really have to make up dog collars? Like, you did. You did. So at the end of this movie, like, Jack Human just picks up a rocket launcher and knows exactly how to use it. What do you think success rate would be?
One would like to think that you could pick up a rocket launcher and know how to use it, but I mean, you're probably right.
There's a couple switches, right, that you got to figure out. Like, that's not just the trigger. It's not like a Nerf gun, right?
But also, like, so this movie would have you believe that Gabriel planned that this whole time. He knew that Jack Human was going to do it, and that's why he had the fake body in there. So he needed that helicopter to get shot down and blow up. He needed that to happen.
There was outtakes of him training Jack Human in the event of a hacker emergency. You need to blow up the computer, and he said, but we only have this rocket launcher, so I need to train you on this real fast.
That's what we missed. The Rocky montage of him learning how to use a rocket launcher.
Just running up the fucking steps with a rocket launcher.
He's pouring egg yolks into the rocket launcher.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. You sold me. I'm on board. All right.
You sold me with primary colors. Pretty excited about that.
All right. You want to get into the rest of your questions here?
You know what's funny is that when they got rid of the soul patch that misaligned soul patch, and you saw Travolta face looking normal, you were like, ugh, like somehow you weren't ready for him to go back to normal.
I think his face looks like it's made out of clay.
Yeah. I think he's gotten work done, but not surgical. Like not injection.
He gets weirdly heavy face massages or something.
Yeah, like someone kind of hit him with a mallet oddly. Like he's like, I'm doing an organic facelift.
If you look him up on IMDb, his photo is him with like the shaved head and beard, and I'm like, he looks like a fucking villain. He looks like he could play Kingpin or something. Like he looks like a villain for sure.
But no, going back to the questions, I kind of handled most of them, except for how is he in this? And it's how it's the secret FBI organization FBI. It's double FBI now.
Yeah.
So that's how they have it, and then just future stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is like the chip from This is like Face Off when they were like, oh, the voice thing, we'll just put the chip in your throat. And they were like, that's it. That's just the chip in the throat. You just have to go with it. So how does he know every move? And how does he know that what the FBI is watching, him? It's just because future stuff.
I also think it's really interesting that like Travolta as a terrorist is this like super idealist who's like, we're going to take down the global elites or whatever. Like just that crazy shit that he's spouting at the end. Like his whole like thing is about like, no, we're going to do this because it's what's right and blah, blah. And you're like, hang on, what?
I mean, it is.
Like
everyone should fear America so much that we just what is it? Tacticularly.
I don't know. What
Nuka City.
Tactical.
Tactical. That's what I said. Tacticularly.
Tacticularly.
Nuka City. Yeah, that's what I said.
Man,
and that's what he meant. And that's what he meant.
Well, if you watch The West Wing, like I do, there is an episode called Proportional Response where like there's been like an attack on like an American base or something somewhere, and the president questions what's the value of a proportional response versus a disproportional response, where like the same thing that Travolta's saying there is like, oh, why don't we just go way overboard and make it so they will think twice before they do something like this again,
I think the Cold War answers that question. But yeah.
No, I mean, it's an interesting episode of a good show that people should watch.
Would you stop plugging your other show?
I wish that was my show. Man, what a dream that would be.
The other show is just the one you watch. You like it that much.
I've got my two shows, the one that I do and the one that I watch.
The one that I like a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
My other show is Seinfeld. I don't know. You should watch it. It's a good show.
Yeah, sure. Oh, boy. All right,
but no, I didn't have a lot of notes, and even if I did, half of them are eaten anyway.
Yeah, your dog ate them.
But no, we went through the who, the what, the when, the where, the how, and the why.
Yeah, I like
it. The when was the switcheroo, the crossover, and obviously we covered where, which is SoCal, something else.
That's a beverage.
Yeah.
I really like this movie, and I think that
I fucking really loved this movie.
So I think that we made the joke of it's Swordfish is a sequel to Face Off, and obviously we can have whatever headcanon we want that makes that work, and it's fun to talk about, but this movie very much benefits from the fact that Face Off exists. Face Off is such a batshit crazy over the top action movie that it sets the stage for this next movie that's crazier, and and everything that's come after. I think it's really a turning point in cinema.
I think late 90s action movies were just getting a little more sporadic as far as the apocalyptic and just violence. I don't want to say violence, but just action drama. It makes you think of Hard Rain and Armageddon and Con Air, Waterworld. All these movies that you're just 90s. You're just well, maybe that was a bad one to use, but all these just this zany fucking action that you're okay, we'll just go for it.
But even this is the bank heist is so over the top.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun movie, and I think we should all watch it again.
All right, we'll do it together.
As a family, with COVID. Come over, everyone come over, I'll give you all COVID. Though, I guess by the time that this episode comes out, I either will not have COVID anymore or will be dead from it. Those are my options.
And that's the real mystery.
Mm-hmm.
That we will never, understand about you.
I mean, you won't.
Well,
not with that attitude.
The fun part is that if we just stop doing the seasons and the episodes right now, everyone will assume you're dead.
Yeah, they would think I was dead.
So there's something to think about. Food for thought.
Yeah, if I ever decide that I want people to think I'm dead, I'll just stop posting episodes of this show. All right. Well, we've planned my death now.
And I'll just turn off my phone. How did you turn off your phone,
dude? So we recorded on Saturday, our last episode we recorded, and my phone wouldn't work. The screen just wouldn't work. And it came back on. It was working okay. And then Tuesday, I took a nap, and I got up, and my phone didn't work. It just wouldn't, the screen didn't work. And it still doesn't. And that's it. It's just, it lights up when you hit a button. You can't do anything. You can't unlock it. You can't do anything. So...
that tale had mystery, really cool. Had action, drama.
Yeah. I think you could really feel the emotion of me being super bummed about my phone not working.
The big three, and then you're going to die of COVID. So.
Yeah, well, and the thing of it is, I'll die of boredom before that because I don't have a phone and I can't go get it fixed.
The big four.
Oh, fuck. Well, this is an unprecedented episode. We've never done anything like this before. So we don't have anything to we don't have breakpoints or freak similes. We don't have a Christmas Carol to compare it to.
No, it's just great.
We're just talking. Keep it going. We're just having fun.
Keep it going, Travolta face.
That's right. That's right. I wish there were more movies where Travolta had to play someone else. I wish there were more body swaps with Travolta. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If that was the rest of his career, I'd be happy. All right, so what are we doing next week? Something else? A show, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right. Well, I'm thinking we should get back to our roots and do a little bit of time loop fun. What do you think?
I'm into it.
So we're going to talk about, next week, we're going to talk about the Netflix series Russian Doll. Currently has one season. It's 8 episodes. It's a great show. You should definitely watch it. And it has been like 3 years since that first season came out, and I think due to COVID, the second season has not been made yet, and it definitely leaves you on a cliffhanger, so...
But we'll talk about that.
We're going to talk about that next week. Russian Doll. All right, well, that does it for me. How about you? Does that do it for you?
I've been done.
Oh, thank God. Well, thanks for listening this week. Tell all your friends about us, and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what we do, you can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can find us online at KeystoneCopycats.com. We're at Keystone Copycats on Instagram and Facebook, and at Keystone Copycat on Twitter. If you got something to say, you can email us at KeystoneCopycats@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 513-239-7682. Don't forget to check out Sinclarity Dinosaur's Tale every Friday. And until next time, I'm going to be Zach, and he will be...
Please. Bye.
See you, Rolf.